This weekend, hundreds of delegates from most corners of the globe descend on Glasgow for the International Network for Contemporary Performing Arts, or as more know it, the IETM. It's no surprise though that organisers chose Glasgow. Well, with 300,000 people living here, being Scotland's City of Culture and the 2014 Commonwealth Games winner, it's sure to be a great venue for this year's festival. One performance which really does stand out though is from critically acclaimed director Cora Bissett and her performance Roadkill. It's all about the real brutalities of human trafficking in this country, and everybody at the IETM seems to be talking about it. I've really had to find out why, so I went to meet her. So what is Roadkill then?
What is Roadkill? Well, it's a piece of theatre, first and foremost. It's a story. It's based on a true story, or it's based on an amalgamation of many true stories. And it's, I suppose, if it doesn't sound too pompous, it's a tool for raising awareness. First years ago, I came into contact with a young girl in Scotland, in Glasgow, who had been trafficked from Africa, and we were quite close for a while, and she volunteered her story to me and told me that this has happened to her. She'd been brought over here at 13 by another woman. And it was something that I take quite an interest in reading about human rights issues and things, so it was something that I was aware of in the UK as a whole, but not so much in Scotland. And I think just having that experience of meeting her very, very personally made me, it just brought an urgency. It stopped being this kind of this issue that's out there, but it was a story. It was a girl's story, and I just thought I want more people to know that story.
So Cora's filled in all the background information for me, but I think there's only really one way to find out what Roadkill is all about, and that's to head along myself and really see it.
Every day they come, they won't go away. Even my bones ache. I've been touched everywhere, everything hurts. It's pain.
Now you must remember to look straight ahead. He's not interested in your face. All he cares about is your breasts and your nyash.
Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze.
This is a test.
This performance really captures the brutality and the real harshness of women suffering in this business, and I think that's what people need. I'm walking away quite disturbed, as I reckon most people will. But all too often newspapers and the media sort of glamorise this sort of business, and that's a pretty harsh one.
How old do you think she is exactly?
22.
Try 14.
As night falls, it's the first performance of Roadkill at the IETM in Glasgow, and on the bus back I managed to catch up with one member of the audience to find out if he found it as disturbing as I did.
Do you think it portrayed the brutal reality of trafficking in this country kind of well, or...?
Well, I've no any knowledge of trafficking in this country, but it was certainly brutal, and if that is the reality, then it's a nightmare.
Please, Jesus, lead me home.
The performance has had such a massive media impact and seems to be taking the IETM by storm. It's such a talking point that specialist talks are in place on the Friday night after the Roadkill performance. I went along to the Tron Theatre to hear exactly what was being said.
You know, the most common one is a physical means of control. The movement is controlled. They're not allowed to leave the flat, for instance. It's actually far more complex than that. There are actually a whole range of psychological control that work on that child. So I can be assisting a child who's telling me that they wish to claim asylum. There are a huge range of indicators that suggest there's something else going on.
There's a massive drive in Europe to have Britain and, well, all the European member states sign to a European directive that gives greater protection, particularly to child victims of trafficking in Europe. And Britain hasn't signed that, the UK haven't signed that and opted into that directive. But there's a big campaign to lobby MPs, MSPs in order to have that signed.
As the IETM finished their bang here in Glasgow tonight, let's hope trafficking does soon too.